Before we get started, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel with notifications. Let's begin our journey to the upcoming game, Final Fantasy XVI. Upcoming Final Fantasy XVI is looking to continue the franchise's storied history of compelling and dramatic storytelling. The key to any Final Fantasy game is its roster of characters and the story they're enveloped in. Set in the fantasy world of Valisthea, players will control Clive Rosfield, who is the firstborn son of the Archduke of Rosaria. Clive is sworn to protect his younger brother Joshua, but ends up going down a dark path after tragic events occur. Exactly what these events are is not yet known, but this does indicate that players should be in for a deeply personal narrative experience, right from the start of the journey. Clive Rosfield's background doesn't sound particularly dissimilar to any of the previous heroic and memorable protagonists introduced throughout the franchise, but looking closer at his character and the world around him, the differences become apparent. Final Fantasy XVI will see players control Clive through three important and distinct periods of his life: his teen years, his 20s, and his 30s. While it is not known exactly how much time will be spent in each of these segments, it does mean that the game will cover a huge period of time, which means players will get to see Clive grow and evolve in remarkable detail. As the world around him changes, players will experience key events in Clive's personal battle through Valisthea. Valisthea, a land blessed by the light of the Mother crystals. These are glittering mountains of crystal that tower over the realms around them, blessing them with ether. Ether allows people to live comfortably, a gift promising enough to motivate different realms to engage in war with each other. Now, the destructive threat of the blight and the fading of the Mother crystal's ether has thwarted the uneasy peace that has presided over the various realms. The most powerful and deadly creatures to exist in Valisthea are the Icons. Think of them as being akin to weapons of mass destruction in the real world. Each icon resides within a dominant, an individual who can summon their icon and use its power. Some realms treat dominants as royalty to admire. Others force them to be weapons of war. All recognize dominance as crucial to the political landscape of Valisthea. By sending their icons to the field of war, the rivaling realms hope to seize each other's crystals for their own gains. There are 6 realms in total: the Grand Duchy of Rosaria, the Holy Empire of Sandberg, the Kingdom of Wallode, the Dalmatian Republic, the Iron Kingdom, and the Crystalline Dominion. The answer as to why Final Fantasy XVI will have a classic medieval European fantasy setting is simple. Many of the core members of Creative Business Unit 3, the division developing the game, enjoy the setting and the feel it gives. The last main line took place in a world mixing advanced modern technology and magic, so Final Fantasy XVI having the kind of setting seen in entries like Final Fantasy IX and Final Fantasy XII will be a welcome return to form for many fans. Despite the vastness of Valisthea, Final Fantasy XVI will not be an open-world game. It will take inspiration from recent AAA open-world RPGs to garner the interest of old and new Final Fantasy fans alike. The story besides the life of Clive Rosfield through his teens, 20s, and 30s. It will also largely focus on the dominants and their icons. One of the more mature themes the team is exploring with Final Fantasy XVI's story is the inevitable clash of values and ideals when different people with differing viewpoints are in the same room. What emerges from their discussions as truly right or wrong? The dominant storylines will explore deeper and darker themes regarding how people should live. For example, people should live the life chosen for them or carve their own destiny. The last main line took place in a world mixing advanced modern technology and magic, so Final Fantasy XVI having the kind of setting seen in entries like Final Fantasy IX and Final Fantasy XII will be a welcome return to form for many fans. Despite the vastness of Valisthea, Final Fantasy XVI will not be an open-world game. It will take inspiration from recent AAA open-world RPGs to garner the interest of old and new Final Fantasy fans alike. The story besides the life of Clive Rosfield through his teens, 20s, and 30s. It will also largely focus on the dominants and their icons. One of the more mature themes the team is exploring with Final Fantasy XVI's story is the inevitable clash of values and ideals when different people with differing viewpoints are in the same room. What emerges from their discussions as truly right or wrong? The dominant storylines will explore deeper and darker themes regarding how people should live. For example, people should live the life chosen for them or carve their own destiny. Final Fantasy XVI will contain a few side quests that will develop the world of Valisthea in addition to the main scenario, as well as some in-game compendiums and materials to read for deeper lore. However, it will be a self-contained story. In Final Fantasy XVI, you'll play as Clive Rosfield, the firstborn son of the Archduke of Rosaria. While he was meant to inherit Phoenix and become its dominant, fate instead gave this power to Clive's younger brother Joshua. To try and forge his own path, Clive dedicated himself to mastering the blade. He eventually attained the honor of becoming the first Shield of Rosaria, the protector of Phoenix who can wield a part of the Icon's fire. Unfortunately, Clive's career ends in tragedy at the hands of the mysterious dark icon known as Ifrit, setting him on a journey of vengeance. Joshua Rosfield is the second son of Archduke of Rosaria and the dominant of Phoenix, younger than Clive by 5 years. He greatly admires his older brother, whom he sees as braver and stronger, and feels guilty for inheriting Phoenix's power. But it's Joshua's strength, both emotional and physical, that will be deeply tested following the tragic events that change the brothers' lives forever. Jill Warwick was taken from her homeland in the fallen Northern Territories to become a ward of Rosaria, securing peace between the two warring realms. After being raised alongside the Archduke's sons, she is seen as part of the Rosfield household as much as them. She is a treasured confidant of the brothers and is described as kind, gracious, and unassuming. Hugo Kupka has gone from a once nameless foot soldier to the permanent economic advisor of the Dalmatian Republic. His status as the dominant of the Icon Titan propelled him to his current position. It's a role he has used to influence the nation's armies and government, amassing a fortune in the process. He will have a mysterious bond with Benedicta Harmon, the cold-hearted and ruthless dominant of the Icon Garuda. She commands the elite intelligencers of the Kingdom of Wallode, and it is on a mission to find the second Icon of Fire that she meets Clive and is forced to face her past. Chidalphus Telemann, also known as Cid, he is the dominant of Ramo and leads an organization that protects bearers and dominants at the mercy of the world's governments. Dion Lesage, Crown Prince of the Holy Empire of Sandbrucken, and leader of its noblest and most feared order of knights, the Dragoons. Dion is loved and respected both his people and troops. Barnabas Tharmer, the King of Wallode, he originally arrived on the shores of Ash as a landless and titleless wanderer, where his skill with the blade won him the kingdom. Last but certainly not least is Torgal, the adorable wolf pup. Hailing from the Northern Territories like Jill, that was raised by the Rosfield house, after Elwyn Rosfield found him separated from his pack. So in a brief summary, the land of Valisthea is divided into 6 realms and dominated by mountainous Mother crystals, the source of magic in the world. The Grand Duchy of Rosaria, the Holy Empire of Sandbrook, the Kingdom of Wallode, the Dalmatian Republic, the Iron Kingdom, and the Crystalline Dominion. Each nation has a dominant in it, a living person who contains a deadly power called an Icon, which can emerge in the form of a titanic monster. Some of these people are like royalty, while others are closer to weapons in how they're treated. We got confirmation that the game will have exclusively British accents, with no Americans there to break the accepted illusion of a European-style setting. The English voice actors will have full lip-syncing too, according to producer Naoki Yoshida. The gameplay so far has also all been focused around one player character, rather than a party. This could be a pretty big change for the series, after decades of titles where you control the actions of multiple characters as they fight together. In a big interview with GameSpot, Naoki Yoshida confirming that the game will have open hub areas, but not a fully open world. He also confirmed that the Icon battles are going to be a major part of the game, with players able to sometimes take direct control through Clive. Sometimes, Clive will be navigating through these battles as a human, dwarfed by the icons above him. Yoshida confirmed that this will be the first Final Fantasy in ages to be given a mature rating in many territories, apparently, as the creative team was committed to exploring some slightly more realistic and adult themes. At the Game Awards 2022, A new Final Fantasy XVI trailer has revealed not only new gameplay clips, but also a release date, June 22, 2023. The new trailer showed sequences of Final Fantasy XVI's action combat system. We also got another look at the game's epic summon battle system, with Ifrit appearing, towering above the human characters on screen. The story featured in the trailer, which is titled Revenge, sets up a lot of intrigue for Clive and Joshua, the two main characters of Final Fantasy XVI. We last saw Final Fantasy XVI back in October, where the Ambition trailer revealed how crystals factor into the story, as well as a closer look at the game's characters, the world of Valisthea, and its multiple kingdoms. While that world looks similar to Ivalice, the land of Final Fantasy XII, many have seen parallels between it and gritty fantasy settings, such as Westeros in Game of Thrones. What do you expect from Final Fantasy XVI? Let us know in the comment below, and please don't forget to like the video, and subscribe to the channel with notifications. See you, and have a nice day.